Watch out for this drop-off scam before it happens to you. Now, as Uber and Lyft drivers, you're going to run into a whole bunch of slick shit that the rider's going to do. You know, it's a lot of seasoned drivers that didn't seen just about anything slick that the rider's going to do or attempt to do, right? Due to the high turnover rate in drivers in both the Uber and Lyft platform, there's an influx of new drivers and drivers that have not seen certain types of scams, rider scams, and they are unaware of some of the things that riders may do. You understand? And here on my channel, Rideshare Realtalk, I'm going to update you on all of it. Now, let's talk about this drop-off scam. So, when riders book a trip, in their app is their pickup location. Okay? And it's up to them to make sure that while they're booking that trip, that their pickup location is the correct pickup location. Because some riders will have multiple pickup locations. But they have to make sure that when they're booking the trip, that the pickup location is where they are actually at before they book that trip. And then a lot of them will have multiple drop-off locations, right? Now, it's up to the driver, to the rider, to make sure that their drop-off location is precise. When they book a trip, they type in where they're going. And it gives them a price. If they don't have enough money, they cannot get to that location. So what a lot of the riders will do is they will book a trip that they can pay for. And then when the driver picks them up and gets to the drop-off location that they booked, they'll say, no, man, this is not the correct drop-off location. I'm going to such and such and such. There must be a glitch in the system. Because I'm going 3 miles up the street. I don't know what this is. Or I'm going 8 miles that way. No, I must be a glitch in the system. A new driver or a unseasoned driver is not going to know what to do. So what they're going to do, they're going to proceed to where they say they're going. Mind you, they did not pay for that. Because any more miles that added to the drop-off location that you dropped them off at, you're not getting paid for it. The platform is not getting paid for it. So if the platform is not getting paid for it, you're not going to get paid for it, right? That's why it's a rider's drop-off scam. And they don't care how less money the drivers is making. They're just trying to get over on you as much as they can. Uber and Lyft makes it so easy for the riders. So for them to come out and still do something such as drop-off scams and all types of trying to pull the wool over the driver's eyes and create problems for the drivers is just absolutely ridiculous. It's the same way I think about people that go into the Dollar Tree and shoplift. People that go into Dollar General, Family Dollar, and Shoplift. Man, they're practically giving this shit away, especially the Dollar Tree. Although the Dollar Tree has changed their prices, still, before the Dollar Tree changed their prices, people was going up in there stealing. So as a driver, as an Uber and Lyft driver, you're going to experience all types of scams. And the most common scam is a drop-off scam. The riders do not have enough money to book the trip to where they actually need to be dropped off at, so they would book a trip to a drop-off location near. And then when the driver get there to drop them off, they'll say, no, this is not where I'm going. I'm going 5 miles that way. This is nowhere near my job. Or this is nowhere near where I'm going. It must be a glitch in the system. Remember this, new drivers and drivers that have not seen this drop-off scam by riders. They are responsible for what they put in the rider's app. The driver only goes by what Lyft and Uber sends them based on what was inserted in the driver's app, in the rider's app, and what they paid for. If you get a trip where you pick an individual up and you get to a drop-off location and that person said, no, this is not where I'm going, this is what you do. You tell them, this is what I have on my end. This is the drop-off location. And this is where I'm going to drop you off at. Oh, this is wrong. I'm going to report you. Hey, do what you're going to do. But here's the trip ends right there. I know a lot of you drivers don't like confrontation. You don't want no problems, but they're bringing the problems to you. They're stealing. It's a form of rider shoplifting because they're taking miles because they can't pay for them. You're already losing money as a driver. You understand what I'm saying? You're already being underpaid as a driver. Yet the rider is going to add to that just because the platform isn't going to do anything to them. Only thing they're going to do is report you. Hey, the driver dropped me off. This is not where I'm supposed to be at. They might even tell a lie. They might even get vindictive and say that you reeked of alcohol, or you made a sexual pass at them, or you smell like marijuana, or your car was dirty. Something to retaliate against you, because they know if they tell them that you dropped them off at the wrong location, Uber and Lyft gonna tell them, say, this is what you put in. So they'll just be vindictive towards you as a driver and try to get you suspended from the platform. And it's gonna work. Because if they make a complaint against you, you will go into suspension for 5 to 7 days. Oh, for how many other days they feel like they want to keep your account in suspension until the safety team get around to resolving that issue. You know what I'm saying? So it's a rider scam, and a lot of drivers will just go ahead and drop them off because they don't want no confrontation, because they don't want the people to, because a lot of drivers are scared. They don't want nobody filing complaints on them. A lot of them may have 1 or 2 complaints on them from recent. And they know if they tell the riders, no, I'm not taking you any further, the rider is going to just file a complaint, a false complaint, and it could get them kicked off the platform. And these people are depending on this work, no matter how low it's paying. So the drivers are walking on thin ice. The riders know this. They know this. And they will do all types of things to you because they know all they got to do is file a false complaint on you vindictively, and you will be removed from the platform. So a lot of you new riders, Uber and Lyft drivers, a lot of you new drivers, a lot of you new Uber and Lyft drivers, please pay attention. Stay off your phones and focus, because you're going to run into a rider that's going to do this. There's going to be other scams that riders going to do as well. And we're going to talk about them here coming soon as well. But it's always good for you drivers to understand that whatever address that you have as the drop-off location, that's where you drop that rider off at. You tell them if they have a problem with the drop-off, contact customer service. It's also good that you all have dash cameras so that the dash camera can record that interaction. So you can just forward that interaction to the safety team when they reach out to you, because they're going to file a complaint on you, because they're going to want you to retaliate. I'm going to leave y'all with a story. So one day I go to pick up, I think she was a student at a medical training facility or something. Maybe, phlebotomy, CNA, or med tech class or whatever. So I picked her up, and en route to drop her off, okay, she asked me could she stop at the store. And because the store was right there, I said, yeah, no problem. I just pulled over. I said, but you run in there and you run out. Okay, I ain't got nothing to do with how many people in the line. And take your bag with you. Because if you're not out here, I'm going to pull off. She said, okay. So she goes in the store and she gets, and it started raining. Excuse me. So she goes in the store and she gets what it is that she's going to get, and she comes back out. So I hear all this rattling going on. And then I smell this strong odor of marijuana. So I turned around and looked. Old girl in the back had opened up a bag of weed and was rolling a blunt in the back seat. Right? It's raining out here. So she was rolling a blunt in the back seat. I told her, you cannot roll no blunt in this car. I don't want that smell in this car. I said, either you put that bag up, put that stuff up, or I'm gonna let you out at the next light. Over in the parking lot at the next light, right? So she said, okay, that's fine. So we get to the house that she's supposed to be going to. She said, this is not where I'm going. She said, I'm going to this side of town. I said, ma'am, this is what's on the app. She said, no, I'm going on this side of town, which is almost like 10 miles away. I said, I'm not taking you there. She started going on. Oh, I'm gonna do this. You trying to take my money, this, that, and the third. I said, again, this is what's on the app. This is where you are getting dropped off at. I don't even know nobody right here. Somebody could do something to hurt me right here. I said, ma'am, the trip is canceled. Exit the vehicle. She told me, I ain't going nowhere. I said, you ain't gotta go nowhere. I got on the phone, I put speed down. 911. What's the problem? I said, yes, I have. I'm a Lyft driver, and I have a passenger in the car that's being complicated on drop-off. I'm dropping her off at the address that's on the app. She's telling me that she needs to go 10 miles that way. That's not my fault. I'm not going to drive her 10 miles that way. The lady said, where are you at? I said, I'm at such and such and such. She said, we're sitting in the office. I said, she's been irate, and I would appreciate it if you all come. So I stepped outside of the car. She on the phone talking to somebody. Yeah, this, that, there. I'm going to get my boyfriend to do this and do that. I looked at it. I said, okay, do what you're going to do. You know what I mean? Here come the police zooming up. So as the police zooming up, she gets out the car and started walking down the street, right? So the police comes up and he said, yeah, man, where? I said, there she go right there. He said, okay. So they went to her. I just happened to get back in the seat, in the driver's seat. I smelled a strong odor of marijuana. Y'all not gonna believe what this wench did. Do you know she poured marijuana in the back seat of the car? She poured marijuana in the back seat of the car. The weed was all in the floor. The weed was all on the seat. So I kept seeing the police officers look back at me. She was pointing and telling them something. But let me tell you where the wench made a mistake at. She did not see that I had a dash camera. Also, the dumb bitch put the motherfucking wrap in her pocketbook. So the police officer said, she said, man, you had marijuana in there. You smoked. You was smelling like you smoking weed. I said, sir, let me tell you what she did. And I can play it back on my dash camera. See how important dash cameras is? I said, she tried to roll marijuana in the car. Look in her pocketbook. She has a wrap either in her pocket or her pocketbook. Well, I stopped at the store for her as a favor. Then she tried to get back in here and roll it. And I said, you can't do that in here. You got to put that up. I said, then when we get to the drop-off location, there was the problem with the drop-off. She got mad because I called the police to get her out of the vehicle. She poured marijuana in the back seat of the car. And that's what she was up there telling y'all, that I had marijuana in the back. He said, oh my God. So I went into the app and rewinded back, and I showed him. I said, look at this. They went in there and put handcuffs on our dumb ass. He came in the back seat, swooped the stuff out the back seat. You know what I'm saying? He asked me what my name was. I gave him my name and all that stuff like that. And they said, thank you, sir. You can go on about your business. They put her dumb ass in handcuffs and carried her bitch ass on about her business. This is why it is important that you all have dash cameras. Man, you can buy them off Temu. You can buy them off eBay. They are reasonable. Get you a good one. 4K quality, 8K quality, whatever. Get you one that records inside and outside and has audio. You understand? Now you got to be mindful of the things that you say when that thing is recorded. You get what I'm saying? So that was how important that dash camera was, because for a long time I wouldn't have a dash camera. But when these people are trying to pull all types of scams on, they're only going to try to retaliate against you so they can get you in trouble or kicked off the platform. I just wanted to leave this video today so you all can understand, so you drivers that haven't experienced this, can understand what a drop-off scam is. A drop-off scam is when an individual books a trip and they cannot pay, they do not have enough money to pay for the actual drop-off location. So they will book and pay for where they can get to, and when the driver gets them there, they're gonna say, this is not my drop-off location. I'm going that way. And a lot of drivers are so scared, they'll just go and drop them off, knowing that they're being played. This is a drop-off scam. Stop being scared, people. Stand up for yourself. My name is Rideshare Realtalk. And if somebody didn't tell you that they love you today, I do. And it's raining like a son of a bitch.